Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 148 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-hosts,
George Breden
and James Fitzgerald.
In this episode, we review In the Footsteps of Marie Curie, Race Formula 90, Skyrise, and much more. Enjoy the show. All right, so somebody, okay, did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, and you did it so fast, it's fine either way.
Yeah.
I guess before the show we were talking about Marie Curie, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I said now.
Exactly.
Marie Curie?
Yeah, that's not right.
Curie.
Marie, it's Marie, guys.
Marie Curie.
Marie Curie.
This is like a whole topic alone. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Before we get into some stuff we've been into, and then we'll get into the games for this episode, there is one debate I've always had, at least internally, that I've heard. And so I want to get open discussion for the things on cards that are pictures that show you actions and things like that.
Yes.
Do you refer to them as symbology or iconography?
Iconography.
Apparently there is an actual correct answer.
The correct answer is iconography.
I've always said iconography, but I've never considered it deeply. Let me think for a moment.
I'm starting to think it's symbology or whatever because he's asking this question.
I don't know.
We're about to have our minds blown. Go ahead,
So,
Tim.
what about
is
me?
it not iconography?
All right. Well, first off, let's go with this. James, what do you think the difference is between symbology and iconography?
That's a good question. Symbols would represent something. But icons do too. So English was not my best subject in school. Symbology. Symbology. That's it. I'm starting to make it a science. Symbology. I would say it's something like a symbol that represents something, but icons, they will match. Usually icons, I would think you're matching like on the card to something else on the board or a certain action. So to me, that's why it would be iconography, because you're matching that icon to something else. So it's matching. Symbology is just saying this is a symbol for water and this is your water symbol. That'd be like matching when you're matching card. Doing set collection would be symbology. Iconography would be more for actions in my mind.
Fair enough. What about you, George?
All right. Well, I think there is a science based on this, semantics, but I would say that iconography is going to be a visual representation, whereas a symbol could be other things as well.
Fair enough.
That's my only distinction right now.
Before I tell you the answer, this is my perception beforehand, or my interpretation. I always thought symbology would be something that's more of an abstract symbol that has a lot of meaning, such as, like, I don't know, I can't even think of something offhand, but it would be like a symbol, like the symbol for Prince, right? The musician.
Sure.
It's just a symbol. Like, you look at it, and you have no idea what that is unless you know, and then you know that it's a symbol for Prince or any kind of thing like that, like some kind of design that doesn't necessarily, it's not like a card or a pair of dice and with a reroll symbol. Like, so I always thought symbology was more like something that was symbolizing something which has more meaning and all that stuff. And iconography would be what I thought would be in board games, where it's like instructing you to do something. But apparently I had it wrong. And it's the other way around. It's weird because it says, FYI, I used ChatGPT to figure all this out.
Uh-oh.
So the definition for symbology says the study or use of symbols, objects, shapes, colors, or signs that represent ideas and concepts or relationships. So an example would be a dove as a symbol of peace, which kind of falls in line with what I'm saying.
But couldn't you have a dove as an icon in a board game?
Well, yeah, but what does that mean? Like if there are doves that you collect as a resource, it would make sense because it's like a one-to-one comparison. But if it's a dove and it just says, you're at peace with this player or something, like you wouldn't know. Like you can't. I imagine a symbol would be something you look at, you don't know what it really is saying unless you know. Whereas an icon is you look at it and be like, okay, that's a die, and it has a circle thing that says reroll. Like I don't even have to know the game to figure that out.
All right, so then it has to be mixed. Games have to use both.
Maybe. This one says iconography, the study of images or icons, especially in art or religion, in the meaning and context behind them. So an example would be a halo in Christian art to denote holiness. So I still didn't know what the answer was. So what I did was I actually prompted it. In board games, there's often pictures dictating how special actions work. For example, a card with an arrow pointing to a hand to show that you draw a card into your hand. Would symbology or iconography be more appropriate to define these? And it says in the context of board games, the correct term to determine or to describe these visual elements like arrows and hands and cards, blah, 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 is typically symbology. And why?
According to Chat GPT, and how many board games has it ever played?
I don't know. But this prompted, the reason I came to this is because Tom Vassell says symbology a lot. And he was a teacher and all this other stuff. And I'm like, there has to be a reason that Tom is looking at this and saying symbology, whereas a lot of people say iconography. And what it says is, why is symbology more appropriate? These images function as symbols with specific, often abstract meanings tied to the game mechanics. So it says, like how traffic signs work, game symbology creates a universal visual language within the game system. Why not iconography? Iconography would be more relevant if you were analyzing artistic or thematic imagery. It's more about cultural or narrative meaning, not mechanical function. So
okay, that's interesting. I think it still has to be both.
I feel like
if you have the image of a little sword to represent attacking, that's absolutely iconic.
True, but a sword could also mean war, which I guess the idea would be if there's an action in the game called war and it has an entire list of things that you go through to do the war, meaning you're attacking somebody or whatever, right?
Sure.
Then that's like, look, I don't even know. I'm getting confused now because I thought this in my head and now looked it up and that's different. That would be, I guess, iconography because it's saying it's more deeper than that, right? So you can't just look and say war and know what to do because there's more to it. Whereas if it was 3 gray cubes, it's very likely it means pick up 3 gray cubes and take them. You don't have to know any more than that. And so I feel like that's where it's coming from. But I would still argue that iconography is better. Like I don't care.
It's just a better word. It just sounds better.
Yeah. It does. It does. I always feel like a symbol when somebody says I saw a symbol, right? Or had a vision of a symbol. They don't know what it means. They don't know what the symbol is. Then they have to research it and figure it out. It's like, what does this mean? That's where I come from. Whereas if I see an icon, right, and icon's like, it looks really scary, I'm like, I'm not going to drink that. Like, I don't need to know. Like, it's not.
Then again, you could have the symbol of a biohazard and okay, I'm not going to drink that.
That's fair too. I feel like it's interchangeable, but there has to be some sort of semantical thing that ChatGPT is going off of, I guess. It'd be an interesting debate to see what everybody, like, put a poll up.
Let's find out what people think. Let's chat and comment and
yeah, because I think iconography, what I'm reading now, it's more like it's what it's referring to, what they mean. Symbolism is more what it stands for something. That's what it's saying. Symbolism, it's that icon is standing for something, like to pick up a cube or draw another card, stuff like that. Iconography is more of, I don't know, off the top of my head, I think like warning signs and stuff, like shows a guy slipping when it's slippery and when wet. So that's probably more iconography, where that symbol of the dude slipping means the floor is going to be wet.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that makes it sound like if you have that image of a hand next to a cube to tell you to pick up a cube, that sounds like iconography. If a guy slipping is iconography, then do you see what I mean?
The
Yeah.
weird thing is, even with the way I asked ChatGPT, because the first thing I said was, what is the difference between symbology and iconography? And the first one, it said symbology is the study or use of symbols, such as a dove to show peace, whereas iconography was the study of images or icons, which the example is a halo in Christian art to denote holiness. But I feel like if you don't know what a halo is, you're not going to know it's holy. But if you don't know a dove represents peace, that you're not going to know that, and so like the examples I give is
the examples are not helpful. That's not helpful.
No, but symbology does show another example. It says red as a symbol of danger or passion, whereas iconography, another example was the recurring depiction of Buddha in specific postures. I don't know.
Oh, now it's perfectly clear to me then.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says symbology is used in linguistics, religion, literature, cultural studies, military, and cartography. And iconography is used in art history, religious studies, archaeology, visual media.
Visual media, that is pretty broad.
All these are pretty broad anyway, but I don't know. Either way, I don't care. I'm still going with iconography.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
I think what they're saying is, in the fields of art and history, the term iconography is used. Whereas we're talking about in the field of board games, like if that's a thing, the field of board games, which term are we going to use? And I think that's I think we've just shown it's both.
Yeah, it's like, does iconography mean like icons, like something that you look up to, because it does say like Christianity and halos and Buddha. You're like, these are icons, not necessarily icons like drawn images, but a person or a thing or a deity. Fun topic though. So anyway, if you agree, disagree, want to comment, hit up our YouTube video or send us an email or Instagram, whatever you want to do. We're going to move on to
get off.
Yeah,
we're going to set off this massive backlash.
Cause a stir in the board gaming world. Anyway, we're going to begin with the things that we've been up to, and I will begin, and then we'll go to George and then James. Gaming related stuff I've been up to in the past week. I went to, we had some yard sales in our neighborhood, and I ended up getting 3 games. Actually, my wife got them. We got New and Shrink Fine Sand. It's a Freedom and Freeze game. It is basically not a sequel, but in the same vein as Fabled Fruit, but apparently it's worse. So I immediately listed it. And in the Gen Con auction or flea market. So we'll see. I don't know. I just don't even feel like trying it out. It looked cool because I thought it said bag building and I didn't do much research. And it's actually just like a deck builder that you're trying to get all your cards out. If it was open, I would probably open it or play it. But since it's in Shrink, I'm just going to see if I can get my money back. I did get another game called Emerge, which apparently released a couple of years ago. It looks super cool. And lastly, I got my favorite.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, if you look it up, you'll see that it's a game that came out not too long ago at one of the conventions. It is research and populate newly emerged islands. It's got a 6.9. And it's by Pandasaurus Games. And I feel like it released in 2023. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, this one.
It's cool.
That one looks really good, yeah.
I like the artwork and stuff. I really like that type of art.
Yeah.
And you picked it up for a good price or for like the normal price? It looks excellent.
Oh, no, I got it for $10.
Oh,
Yeah, it's probably a good deal.
That's great. Yeah, that's fantastic.
I mean, it's got dice. It's got cool meeples and stuff. Really
All kinds
sweet
of
artwork.
animal meeples. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, dice rolling, in-game bonuses, reroll, unlocking, turn order progressive is what the mechanisms show on BGG. But anyway, the last game I got, though, was Wayfarers of the South Tigris. Is that right? Is that the full name?
Yes.
Sounds right.
That's the first one of the trilogy.
Yeah, which so far I think is my favorite because I think I've played all 3 of them. Pretty sure.
I haven't played the last one. I've played the first two, Wayfarers and Scholars.
Of the
And
South Tigris.
yeah,
What's the
Scholars,
third
I
one?
wasn't a big fan of it. I liked it halfway through, and then the second half, I hated it. So
Oh, fair enough.
then I played it again. I liked it the first half, and the second half, I hated it.
No, I'll take it back. I have not played Inventors. Is that the third game?
Yes.
I've
I
not
don't know
played
many
Inventors.
people who have. Seems like
Yeah.
it's not
Wow, that
very
looks
popular.
4.38 on the weight. That's awesome.
That's massive.
That's huge, man. I didn't expect it to be that heavy.
Of the
I'm in.
Inventors.
Yeah. I mean, Wayfarer's got a 3.8. I didn't really think it was that hard of a game, but
No, I like that one. It's okay.
do you have Wayfarers?
I did. I sold it.
That insert sucks. Like, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I might just chuck it and bag stuff because I don't know.
I agree.
Stuff just falls out. I don't like when you're stuffing 2 or 3 tokens into a little slot. That kills
Right.
me. Well, and let me say this. The insert is very well designed and it's nice, but functionality wise, it does not work. I'm
'Cause-
sorry.
That game has multi-use cards, right? The cards can be used for different things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe
okay.
so.
It's been a while since I played it, but I liked it. But I liked the trilogy before it better. Viscounts and Paladins and
Yeah.
Architects of the West Kingdom's trilogy.
I did play all the West Kingdom games, but yeah, I guess Inventor is the only one I haven't played. But anyway, yeah, I like that. And then lastly, I guess gaming related news, other than playing a ton of Minecraft and stuff like that with my kids. I bought the Anno 1800 expansion. I sent you all a text with that screenshot.
Yeah.
So I was very floored to see that they released an expansion in Germany, but they have zero intent to release it stateside. And that was really sad, but most of the cards are just icons. And so I was trying to be funny there. It's
Symbols.
iconography. Yeah, it's just symbols, whatever. And so, it's definitely a game that you can easily use in, they have translations and stuff. So I'm in, and I got it today, and it's pretty cool. I'm going to do an unboxing of that, and I'll put it on the MeepleCore Instagram.
Yeah, I really like Anno 1800. Is that what it is? 1800?
Yeah.
It's
And
pretty good.
It's been like a month since I've ordered it. And at the time I looked at what it adds, but it does add a lot of things. One of the biggest things I like about it is when you do trades in Anno, if you remember, you do a trade and that person gets a gold coin
Right.
or whatever it is, a gold. But it doesn't matter how many times, like how big of a trade you do with them. Now they actually get coins or whatever based on how many trades you do with them. Like if you're, so it makes the trading a little bit more interesting. So anyway, that's me. George, what you got?
All right. Well, I've gotten some games in, got quite a few games played. And one of them is one that I had bought for my brother a few years ago and had never gotten it played because he doesn't play that many games and it's his game. So sometimes I get people board games hoping that I get to play them with them and it doesn't work out. But there was a guy who brought the game to a local game store and I jumped all over it and said, we have to play this game. And it's called Station Fall. You guys familiar?
Sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar. I'm gonna have to look this up real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up too.
Fall.
There's a space station and it is going to hurtle toward the planet. It's coming out of orbit. And there are like 9 to 12 characters on this space station. You are one of them secretly, but everyone can control everybody on the ship. And they all have these different objectives that they want done. But if you're the one, right, you want certain objectives to happen. There's this predator or experiment X that's on the thing. You might want to find out, release that thing into the world, or maybe you want to go down with the ship, or maybe you want to save everyone off the ship, or maybe you want to get off the ship with the briefcase and a gun. There's all these different things. And all these characters have different abilities. The way that it works is you take cubes to influence them in order to take an action. So you put a cube of influence on the character's card, and then you can take an action with them. It doesn't mean you're them, but maybe you are. And so it's brilliant. Everyone is just wondering the whole time, like, wait, who's who? Who's doing what? Why does this happen? And there's these amazing emergent stories that come out of it. And it's kind of a heavy game in terms of rules for a pretty simple concept. There's not that many things you can do. You can move around. You can knock people over the head and take their stuff. You can trip different features of the rooms on the ship, right? And they all do different things that might have something to do with your objective. And you can cause the ship to sound the alarm and open up the escape pods, right? Maybe you get off the ship. Maybe you don't. It's so good. It's so fun.
I just saw a picture of the map. I do remember this coming out.
Yeah, I finally got to play it, and it did not disappoint. Station Fall is really quite good. So there was that one, and I played Above and Below, which is one that I've liked for a long time. Sort of a story game along with a Euro resource collection. You have to go into these caves and then explore them and have adventures down there with certain numbers of characters, and you exhaust them in the process. So then they can't be doing other things like collecting your resources or building you stuff. So I really like that one. I played Salt and Paper. Salt? Wait,
Sea Salt
and Paper. Yes. Yep. And it's a simple card game that I enjoyed, but it has just enough rules complexity that I know I couldn't. It's not Gateway at all. Like, I couldn't get my parents to get into this.
Yeah, everybody I've taught hates it, and they get confused. And I'm like, this is a simple little game, a set collection game.
Yeah.
But everybody, it's for some reason it confuses people, and I don't know why.
I can see it. I can see it happening. As a gamer, it's totally fine and quite good.
Right.
And I enjoyed it. But yeah, it's not what I'm going to pick up, because I know the people I would play it with, they're not going to be gamers. We're going to play other things.
Yeah, I've always blamed my own teaching because I'm a bad teacher.
I think you do fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's true. That's not true. And another card game I played, which had a great time with, is Power Vacuum. Trick taker, where you're all these different appliances, and again, you're secretly one of them. No, you're not secretly. You are one of them, but you secretly want to have one of them win the round and one of them lose the round every round. It could be yourself. It could be other people. And so there's all this manipulation and metagaming going on as the game goes on. I love that kind of stuff. And as a trick taker, this one just works. Power Vacuum is brilliant.
I've played it a few times on BGA.
Bits. Oh, you should play it in person. The bits are so good.
I'm not a big trick taker gamer.
I'm not either. And I really like this one. Then finally, not finally, another one I played. I played a new one. I played one that I picked up myself because of Meadow. I love the game Meadow, and this is made by the same company, Rebel. And so, same artist. I just grabbed it instantly. Not disappointed. It's called Pergola, and I didn't know what a pergola was. It's like a trellis. Basically, They could have said trellis.
That's probably already a game.
Yeah. So you're making this garden, and in your pergola, you're putting flowers and attracting bees to it, and so it's all set collections, all different kinds of set collection, but it's really smooth flowing. This is one I could play with my parents, and I did, and I beat them quite badly, but still, they could play it. So that one, pergola, is really nice. And the one that I played that I didn't realize that I could hate a game right off the bat, but it's one that so many people like. And I hate this game, Through the Desert.
Oh, I love that game.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
see? So many people
I haven't played it yet.
It's a really good game.
No.
We'll see. We'll have to, you know what? Han. That's fine. We won't talk about it. Maybe we'll throw that on one of the episodes.
Yeah, okay.
Let me get it to the table, then we can, that'd be a fun discussion. I like when some of us don't like a game. It leads for a way more entertaining podcast.
Yeah, well, that one, it was a rough play. And the last one I'll mention is one that I just got in the mail, new game that came in, and I haven't done anything with it yet, but I'm really excited to, and it's called Emberleaf. So cool. That's the one I'll be checking out next week or so.
All right, what about you, James?
Okay, so I got a notification that my All Play Kickstarter is coming, so those 4 games are going to be here with updated boards for River Valley Glassworks and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yes. And so I'm excited about that. It's supposed to be Monday. What I've been up to, let's see, the game I played that I'm going to be talking about later, I played the last time my game group met. We also played Waffle Time, which is a little fun, light family game. It sounds really dumb, but it's actually pretty fun. It's an AEG game, and what
Right.
you're doing is you have a 3x3 grid of toppings for your waffle, and everybody almost like patchwork style, kind of not, but you go around and you place your token where you want to collect fruit, and the tiles have the fruit on there, and you only get to pick the first two. There's 3 of them, but you only get to pick the first one next to your pawn and the one next after that, and you have to put it adjacent on your waffle. So you can put a blueberry, strawberry, banana, but what you're trying to do is complete patterns for each fruit.
Oh, okay.
You randomly draw a pattern card, so everybody has to get that. So you can put syrup on your fruit, and that's how you score your fruit on your waffle at the end of the game. Everything that has syrup on it is what scores. So if you have the fruit on whipped
This
cream,
sounds awesome.
it's pretty fun. I mean, it's 8 rounds. It's really quick, and you go around and you move around the timer more or less, so it's blocking 2 of the rows. But you can still get to those fruit because you can go from it a different way with your pawn. Then whoever's closest to that marker, the next round goes first. So it goes back, and so everybody, your strategy trying to get what you want, but you also don't want to be last every time. Because when you are last, you do get syrup and stuff, but you get 2 points if you don't have any syrup at the end of the game in your dispenser. But it's actually really fun. I thought it came with the AEG mystery box they did 2 years ago, and it was actually a good surprise. It's a pleasant surprise, and I've been talking to my game group about it. So we brought it since the In the Footsteps of Marie Curie was kind of quick game. We always bring some other quick games in case we want to play those, and that's what he chose that because he heard me talking about it before.
Yeah.
And
How did it go over?
Do what?
How did it go over with your game group?
Oh, they liked it. They all liked it. I think some of the one with the smaller kids probably wanted it. He liked it. And then Sunday, I couldn't eat anything except liquids for a certain procedure I do Monday. So Sunday, I had to play games that I already knew because it's hard to learn games when you're starving. And
Yeah, well, you don't want to be playing a game about waffles when you can't eat anything. That's
right,
for sure.
there you go.
But before we move on, I have to ask you, in this waffle game, are you putting like a pattern of strawberries out and then syrup on there? Or are you going to end up with so it's all just strawberries in your pattern? Or are you going to end up with a waffle with like 9 different things all over it?
9 different things. Stuff like that. You're gonna have
You would not want to eat that waffle though.
8 times 2, so that's 16
It's not
total
about
items
eating,
you're
it's
gonna
about
get.
scoring.
Right, it's about scoring. And there's I think 5 different fruits: bananas, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, and something else. So there's 5 different cards you're trying to match those patterns on. There's also other public objective cards that give you a pat of butter. So that scores you 2 points also. If you're the first one to match that pattern that it's asking for.
Not
So,
sure
it's
how
all
appetizing this is.
It's all about it's drafting fruit to make patterns.
Yeah.
So like the strawberry could come out where you want 2 strawberries, but any other fruit in the middle between it. So if you ever do that pattern, you could do that multiple times, and you put syrup on your fruit. And like I said, that's so you can score those fruit at the end of the game. If that doesn't have syrup, you don't score the fruit. But yeah, so I did solo game Sunday, and so I did 2 things of Final Girl. I don't know if y'all played Final Girl before. It's strictly solo. I really like Final Girl. I always feel like I'm screwing up the rules and stuff. But I played the one with the Ratchet Lady, which she demolished me right near the beginning. I mean, that probably didn't last 20 minutes. I pulled my first event card was Hannibal Lecter, so he was running around killing people too. So it went pretty quickly. So I had to jump in there and fight her just to try to kill her, and it just didn't work out. And the other one was the Big Bad Wolf. So I actually played Gretel instead of Red Riding Hood, but that came down to the last final battle. I mean, I was going at it with him, and he beat me because he took me down. I don't know if you know Final Girl. You flip a token that might have more hearts, more or less give you second life. Well,
I don't know Final Girl with this particular guy, but I do know this story. You should have built a fire in the fireplace.
There you go. We were outside. It wasn't inside like Granny's house or anything.
Is this a spoiler alert or what?
No.
All right.
There's nothing spoiler in Final Girl, but it's pretty. I mean, I enjoy those a lot, even though I do get my butt kicked many times. I've won some, mainly the Friday the 13th one. I mean, you can't say those because they don't have those IPs, but that's what it was. It's the summer camp one with Hans. I've beaten him a few times.
Spoiler alert, Tim, the big bad wolf falls into the fireplace.
And in the
and then the
fairy
pigs
tale
are saved, yeah.
What was I played third. I'm gone blank now because we've been laughing about Final Girl.
Solo
I played another
Sunday.
game solo. I cannot remember it, so we'll just go on.
Wasn't that memorable?
No,
Well, all right. Well, before we get into the games, I want to make it seem like I play games also because I just talked about stuff. I just talked about stuff I bought.
You're going to have to do Solo Sunday, Tim.
Apparently,
it's fun.
we played The Legend of the Cherry Tree that blossoms every 10 years.
That is a long title.
It also is garbage.
Oh.
I mean, I won't go super into it, but basically it's a pressure luck draw from the bag, and you can draw as many as you want. You can only have up to 8. You can only draw 3 times. Each time you draw, there's 6 different color petals. And if you have 3 of one or 5 different colors, you bust.
Oh.
Now, there's black as one of the 6 colors, and it takes the form of whatever is going to make you bust. And so like 99% of the game is I draw once. Oh yeah, I'll keep it. The other 10% is I'll draw once. Oh man. Okay. Well, I'll draw twice. like it's so crap. This was on one of my origins list one year or something. I finally got it and I never played it. And it was on my want to play. And I was like, I don't know. And then we played it. I don't like it.
It's an amazing title.
It is. It could have just been called Legend of the Cherry Tree, but it also blossoms every 10 years, apparently. And then I played Pebble Rock Delivery Service with my kids, and it's a pickup and delivery game that's made for like 6 or 8 year olds, and it's awesome. Very good game. It is really well done. I like it a lot. And then we played
a HABA game, or where does this come from?
No, I forgot what the company is. It's the only game I owned from them, I believe.
Okay.
But basically you have a pressure luck movement. You either pick the green or red dice. The green it's slower on the number die, but then it's like benefits on the other die. Like you might get more fish or whatever, and you can spend fish to move extra spaces. The red die, you move really fast, like almost triple the speed, but the red die is like, okay, a shark comes and eats some of your fish. And there's other benefits. There's a pirate and stuff like that. So
is this one that you're legitimately enjoying yourself as an adult as you play with the kids?
If I played it with a group of adults, we would probably play it one time and be like, that's pretty cool. I like it, but it really needs some kids, to be.
Yeah, they're really enjoying it.
There's not a lot of meat, but if you were a family and you hadn't played any board games before, I could see it like in the realm of gateway games.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's a really good pickup and delivery because it doesn't require you to stop to deliver. So you like move, pause, deliver, move. So you feel like you're doing a lot of pickup and deliver.
Okay.
Lastly, today I played Catan Jr. and my sons loved it. So that was pretty cool.
See if they like waffle time.
I am definitely going to look into that. All right. So we're going to move into our main topics here. And we're going to first start with James, if you want to share some screen and talk about this game.
Okay. My game is in the footsteps of Marie Curie. If you don't know who Marie Curie was, then your school has failed you. She's a famous scientist from the late 19th and early 20th century. She won 2 Nobel Prizes, one in physics with her husband and one in chemistry. It's all for her study of radiation, and she discovered polonium and radium. Spoiler, she did pass away from complications from exposure to radiation throughout her life from all her experiments. And if you actually go to her museum over in France, a lot of her stuff is still radiated. You can't touch it or be near it.
Have you done that?
No, I have not. I've never been into Europe. I'd like to go. You want to take me?
Let's go. Yeah.
So otherwise, you would also know her as growing up. I did as Madame Curie, but her real name is Marie Curie. I think there was a book by her daughter that called her Madame Curie. So And also her daughter won a Nobel Prize. So she's a very famous scientist. And this is about you're just going through her life and you're trying, as this show says here, it says help the famous scientist win her double Nobel Prize. It is the successor to In the Footsteps of Darwin, which is you're moving your ship around and you're drafting animals and stuff. It's actually a really good game. I would give that a 9 in my own personal. In the Footsteps of Marie Curie, I would give 8.5. It's not as good as Darwin, but it's pretty good. I mean, I highly recommend it. The main mechanism is a cube tower. So there it is. There's the bottom of it with the 3 different color cubes. So you got 3 different colored cubes, black, gold, and silver. The black is pitch blende, the gold is uranium, and the silver is radium. And that is one confusing thing about this game. As gamers, gold is usually better than silver, but in this game, silver is better than gold. So it kind of threw us off every time. And if you're like me, we never called it by its real name. We always said black, gold, or silver. We never called it radium or uranium and all that.
It's a lot of syllables to say over and over.
Right. And if you don't know what a cube tower is, a cube tower, what it does is, I forgot to, let me go back. So this game is designed by Florian Fay. It's published by the best publisher name ever called Sorry We Are French.
That is
the same publisher
such a great game company.
In the Footsteps of Darwin. I think Hachette or Hachette Games also distributes it. My copy says Sorry We Are French. And it's rated 6.8 in BGG, but people don't know what they're talking about. It's higher ranked than that. It's better than that. It says 20 to 30 minutes, 2 to 4 players. It says best 2. I played it at 4 and it did really well. And the weight is 2, and I'd say that's about right. It's a very simple game. It looks complicated. It's one of those ones you're like, this is a lot of stuff, but actually it's not that. For gamers, it's really easy. What you do is you go each turn. There's a turn. Let's go right here. This turn thing, it looks like the top of like the Capitol building. That ring, it goes around for everybody's turn. That ring goes to the next one. And that tells you what cubes to drop in the cube tower. And a cube tower, if you don't know, what it does is you drop the cubes in there and it has shelves in there that some of the cubes might get stuck on those. So you might only get, if you drop 4 in there, you might only get 2. And it might not even be any of the 4 that you dropped.
Right.
So at the beginning of the game, you don't want to go first because you're not going to get many cubes. But as the game progresses, you're going to get a bunch of cubes, or you're going to get 2, like I did one turn. And if you don't like randomness, this might not be for you, because you've got to accept that even though you need 4 of these cubes or 5, and then I'm sitting there, I need gold and silver to come out, and I just get 2 black, which are the lesser of all 3 of them. That's, you're like, what am I going to do with that? So obviously I didn't win, but it's an extremely fun game. And so on this picture, you see that icon or symbol of the little pocket watch.
It's one of those. It's definitely one of those.
Yes. The symbol of the pocket watch, that tells you to move the pocket watch token along the
Does your
time
copy
track.
have that screen print on the pocket watch too?
Yes.
Oh, that's
comes.
Gorgeous looking. I like that.
Yeah.
That is nice.
And so it's more or less going through the years of her life. And I mean, if you want to pay attention to that flavor text and all that in the pictures. And so what it does is it also, those rewards on that timeline go to everybody. So you're also wanting to plan, like on here, the one timeline shows a silver, you can get it for 1 point. And points are hard to come by in this game. The person that won the game got 15 points. I think I got like 9. And that's what bit me in the rear end a lot, is when that timer hit that one that says trade in a silver for a point, I didn't have a silver cube. So I couldn't get a point.
Oh, no.
So you can do that or spend the cubes on the cards, which that's another big mechanism of the game.
So you were at the mercy of the tower, so really you didn't have the silver because it didn't come out for you.
Right. It's very, like I said, it's very random. So if you're okay with that, but there are certain cards you can buy, and they have an icon on the top right, a symbol in the top right. I'm going to say that now. Like this one's got a flask, a book, curio cabinet and the top of that dome. So this also is a set collection game. So you're trying to collect these cards, and you notice like on here it has two of these cards go 1 to 4, and one of them says 1 to 5. There's also one that says 1 to 3. But all these cards with that same symbol are all the same. There's more than, say this one goes to 4. There's more than 4 of these in this deck, but they're all exactly the same. So the first time you lay down this card, you get what's in column 1.
Okay.
So what this is telling you, I mean, all these symbols on here, they mean something. So if obviously, it's not language dependent because it's all symbology. And so
Sure.
like on the flask one, the first time you put it down, you automatically get a gold cube. The second card you play of the flask, you'll get a silver cube. And the third one, you get a gold cube and you move the timer. And that's what that timer token is what counts down to the end of the game. When it gets to the end, to the last year of her death there, the game ends and the round finishes. So if you're the last player, the game will end immediately after your turn. But if you're like the first player and you get it there, other people have the same amount of turns. And so and each time you can either take the cubes or take what they call a little book. There's 4 of them. And this icon here with the question mark on it, that's what that means. That means take one of those books. You can only take one from each number. So there's 4, there's 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. So you can, and on your player board, you have spots for those books. And all they do is give you a little bit, like one of them might give you a black cube or 2 black cubes. I mean, it's nothing really big.
When you get them, you flip them over and it gives you some benefit.
Right.
Is the idea behind that like, oh, my turn, like I roll stuff out of the tower and there's not much to pick, so I'm going to pick a book. It's kind of like a fallback action type of deal.
And you can also get, like this shows, you can get books from cards too. But you can't, if you already have a 1, you can't take another 1. You can take a 2 or 3, whatever's next. Yeah. And once you take all 4, you don't take anymore. And there is an you all get personal objectives. And one objective is to get all 4 of those books. And it's just a point at the end of the game. Mine was to have a full column of cards. And I mistakenly went for the 5. So I had to go through, get 5 of those. I mean, I did other ones, but the first time I hit hard on the ones that require 5 cards to complete a set. That was a big mistake too. But you can also, you get beakers and flask. You kind of see that at the top where it shows in between, you get a point.
Okay.
You'll get these beakers and flask. Those will, at the beginning of the game, you can draw 3 cubes from wherever comes out of the cube tower. And at the end of your turn, you can only keep 3 of those cubes. So if you spend more, you spend them during the turn, that's fine. If you have more than what you're allowed to keep, that's fine. But at the end of your turn, you have to discard down to what you can hold in your little flask there. So, but you can also get these beakers and flask to up your number of cubes you can draw and the number of cubes you can keep. Now, the flasks and the beakers and flasks first come out face down. So, like at the top here of this picture, if we're looking at it, this says you have to spend a gold and a silver to get any card you want from the board. And then once you pay that, you flip it over, and then it gives you the +1 of how many cubes you can pick.
Okay.
Same way with like the flask there, it says pay a black, gold, and silver, and you get a point, and then you flip it over. And once you flip over both of those, you get that point in the middle.
Okay.
So that's how you get points like that. The only problem is if you can get it to where you can draw 6 cubes, but only 2 or 1 comes out of the tower. Well, then it might frustrate you.
Do you clear this at all and refresh it, or is that it for
this
the game?
is it.
That's it. Okay.
Because the game's so quick, it's not gonna. You don't have time. I didn't even fill my board up with these beakers of flasks. Not even the books either, because they weren't worth it by the time I got to that. But you see on the top right there, that is the objective for all 4 books to get a point.
Let me ask you a question real quick about the dice tower, because obviously, or the
cube tower.
Cube tower. There's not a lot of companies that do cube towers.
Queen Games.
Queen Games. Their cube tower is fine. Obviously, this one looks like it's made out of plastic and it looks like it works well. But my question is, couldn't this game just been a bag that you draw so many things out of? I mean, I like the idea that stuff gets stuck, and I guess the idea is, you know, a bunch of stuff comes out and it's like you hit the jackpot, like the lottery, or not lottery, but if you're at
and then they stay out there. So the next turn,
slot machine is what I was thinking.
Next person's turn, those cubes stay out there. So
okay.
Say like in this picture, there's 6 of them. If I took 3 of them, the next 3, those 3 will stay out there for the next player.
And the next person's putting more in, and then it adds to that. Okay.
Right. But there is a spot, at least one of them on that time track that says remove all those cubes that are out there, sitting there. So they might not always be out there because either somebody's going to take them or it gets swiped.
Yeah.
I think it's actually hard cardboard. I don't think it's plastic.
It looks like plastic. Wow. It's a hard cardboard. Wow.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. The one I have in my hand, it's cardboard. It might be like lacquered cardboard or something, but because I tap on it, it sounds like plastic.
It looks so cool, though. I like that it's a tower because it looks like an antique piece of laboratory equipment.
Right.
Does it? I thought it looked stupid, but that's maybe just me.
The one part I didn't like is that it doesn't have a tray to go into, so the cubes just fall out on the table.
Where it's a little further out so we can see the whole thing?
I feel like it could be way cooler and more thematic looking. It just looks very...
Let me see if there's a picture.
I mean, I guess
I think it looks like the thing that it is. Do you know what I mean? Like it looks like...
Right there on the right.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Like, what is it supposed to represent?
That's a thing that you put the chemicals into. Like,
is it?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just...
You're trying to say it's like a test tube?
For irradiated things, for like
like a canister or something.
Well, they didn't.
It's the actual shape of and look of the thing that they used in the lab. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what it's called.
I don't know if she used that. I don't think they knew how dangerous it was back then when she was doing experiments. And
well, I actually, now that you say that, if you look at the board, one of the spaces has a drawn image of it. So you are right. It does look. You see it on the table.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It does look
in the middle.
Yeah. So
I think that's cool.
Yeah. Now that I know that, it looks cool, but if I knew nothing about the theme and I looked at this thing, it looks very generic. So, I mean, but I guess it, putting radiate stuff in something that looks generic. I mean, it's doing the job, right?
I guess that's what they did. Right there. She's the one next to it. She's got it over a Bunsen burner, whatever that thing is.
So it's like separating or doing something weird. All right.
Now, another thing about this, the Darwin one does it too. There's a separate book that gives you the whole history of Madame Curie. And so, I mean, if you had kids and stuff, it says it is a family weight game. If you have kids, you can read that to them or let them read it, and they'll learn about her and what she did with her studies with radiation and radioactive material and stuff, and how she won. Her and her husband won the physics Nobel Prize, and she won the chemistry Nobel Prize by herself.
So you can learn you something.
And so, I mean, she hung out with Einstein. I think she taught physics and stuff with him and stuff.
And her daughter won the chemistry Nobel Prize, like you said. And I had to look this up. Only 7 times has that happened where a parent-child pair has won the Nobel Prize.
And that's the first one. That
was the first one. That's right. That's
well, you thought you were turning into this episode to listen to game rules and how things, but now you are walking away with more knowledge than you started this podcast on.
But
that's what we do here.
I reiterate, I'm fine with. I mean, people might not like. I know some people that hate randomness as much as this. I'm fine with it, especially going into it. So it's like if I needed a certain amount of cubes and other cubes came out, I'm not going to get angry because I know that's what's, it's just what it is.
Well, in some of those games, if it's only 30 minutes long,
right?
Like you can have some silly type of things with the press your luck games or games that have a lot of randomness. Because if the game's quick, then who cares? You just play it again, right? It's not. I mean, if you're sitting down thinking you're playing a tournament every single time you're playing with your family or friends, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you shouldn't take it seriously and try to play to win, but at the same time, relax a little bit. It's not like playing Abomination where 3 hours in, then you make a dice roll and your body blows up from electricity and you just flip the table and you quit. I'm not speaking from experience, but it could have happened.
And that dome is interchangeable, so that's the turn order, or showing each turn what cubes you drop. That there's 3 of those, one for each player count, 2 player, 3 player, 4 player. So, I mean, but you can also see what's coming, and when it gets to the bottom right, the next time it goes, that actually flips over, and there's another group of them that you go around. So that keeps flipping over.
The podcast listeners have no idea what you're talking about, but essentially it just tells you. It just tells you how many cubes you pull out or roll,
drop in,
and then you move the token to the next step, and then
for each turn, yes. Right. So that's each turn, and there's a little ring. It's a little cardboard punch-out ring, nothing fancy. So it tells you can actually see what's coming up, but again, that might not come out.
Yeah,
that's going in. So if you're one of those types that can remember all the cubes that went in there, then this might be a good game for you because you'll know.
It's like a card counting thing.
Right. You're
so far 6 blacks have went in and only 3 have come out.
Right. And you're like, so there's this many and there's a chance of getting these coming out.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed this game, which I ended up buying it. So that's usually what happens. Unfortunately, when you have a game group like me, and I have a friend that has almost every game, it seems like. And when I play a game that I like, I end up buying it. A lot of times it sits on my shelf of wishful thinking. Never gets played. But this one, I think I can get my wife to play this. She liked Darwin, In the Footsteps of Darwin, so I think she'll like this one too. I highly recommend it. Definitely recommend playing it first before buying. Don't do it like me with a lot of games. I just buy.
I think a lot of people would benefit from the try it before you buy it mentality rather than just kickstarting 3,000 games. George, I'm looking at you. Anyway,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I've got a ton of Kickstarters too.
All right, real quick. So let's do some final thoughts to wrap it up. If you got anything else you want to say, or
it's pretty.
Yeah, I'm looking. It's interesting. I want to try it out. So
it's science.
Fair enough. All right.
But yeah, I like it a lot. It's really good. I mean, I don't have many cube tower games, so this is a new experience for me.
Fair enough. So let's see if I can pronounce it right to wrap it up. It's In the Footsteps of Marie Curie.
Yes.
Oh, I nailed it.
From 2024, last year.
All right. So next up is going to be George's game. You want to go ahead and introduce us to that?
All right. My game is going to be also science, the science of speed.
And drafting.
It's like some Talladega Nights comments right there.
Mine is Race Formula 90. And this is a game that was initially published, in 2013. 10 years later, they came out with a second edition. And they improved a lot of things. They didn't need to because the original game is amazing. And I'm saying that after looking at this game, and it has a weight of 3.88, which is heavy for me, the games I usually like. And the running time is 90 to 270 minutes. That is not wrong. This is a 4-hour game.
Wow.
This is a 4-hour game that I like. There's something to this. I'm not a Formula One fan either. If you are a Formula One fan, this is your game. There's like no doubt about it. But it's called Race Formula 90 because of Formula One racing. And the 90 is the era of the 90s. So it's about the tracks that were around in the 90s and about the style of racing that was done in the 90s. For example, in the 90s, they used a lot of super soft tires. And they are a little overpowered. So in this version, you get limited to the number of super soft tires you can use, right? But they're still in the game. Everything is in this game. Everything that you want in terms of a formula racing game. They have rules for weather. They have rules for overtaking cars or holding cars off. They have rules for debris and damage to the cars, debris on the track, cars crashing, and then the safety car comes out and everyone has to line up behind it. Like it's a simulation as much as it is an actual game.
Can you distill the rules down real quick, like an elevator pitch for those who? I know there's a lot of rules, but
yeah,
like run through a turn basically.
When you say there's a lot of rules, can I just real quickly show you? There are 3 rule books, and there are things that you can print out that tell you the rules, and they are
double-sided
really,
full sheets.
Oh my Lord. Like,
oh, that's like multiple pages.
Multiple pages. There are quite a lot of rules here, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. Now, okay, basically what you do in the game is you have your player board, and you can see on the player board there's a spot for your engine, your number of cards that you draw into hand, because the way that you play the game, you play out cards. It's a hand management card playing game. So it's a Euro game that's a racing game. And what I really love about this one is you're not actually racing around the track and worrying about your position on the track in terms of like, this turn I move this many spaces and I'm going to crowd this person out or get in their way, whatever. You are, but they represent sections of the race in a Euro style. Each turn represents several laps. So it's just simulating your position in the race ultimately through this card play. And so you have cards, and then you have tires. Some of the things that you do require you to spend tire points in various ways. So you have to select those. You can go with what they start you with 2 points for each, or you could make one 3 points. So now you get more of that thing. You get more engine slots. Or maybe you put 3 into your cards. Now you get 7 cards instead of 6. Or you put 3 into your tires. Now you get 12 instead of 10. But you have to make one of them a 1 in order to do that. So you'd have a smaller engine, or you'd have, or not smaller, but a more vulnerable engine, or you would have fewer cards or whatever. So there's a decision point to be made before you play the game.
Now, I noticed like the fronts, because I watched a video on this. The fronts, are they all the same for all the different race cars, but you can flip it over and basically customize?
For the fronts of what?
Like the player board that you're showing. Like you have a player board, and
it comes with all these different chits that you take the chit and you put it on top to change the value. So if you wanted to put 3 points into your engine,
okay,
you would put this chit that has 6 spots in it. But
otherwise, all the other player boards are just 2 points in each of the values.
Yeah, that's the default.
Okay.
But you can change it how you like. And then you're going to choose a skill, which is your individual driver skill. And these change the game radically. And there's 10 of them. So you might be really good at pitting. And when you do a pit stop, you don't take as long, which could be crucial. Or you're really good at lapping people, because in F1, lapping someone is the hard part. You catch up to the slow people, and then they're getting in your way, and it's hard to get around them.
Yeah.
You could be a wise driver where you get to refresh your hand. You get to mulligan your hand once while you're racing around the lap. You're like, hang on, this is not going to work. And, you just get more cards in a sense. Or you're a rain expert. And if it's rainy and you get caught out with the wrong tires, because as you're driving around, there are weather cards that come out, and they move this track back and forth toward or away from rainy or sunny conditions. So if the weather is inconsistent, you could really get screwed with the wrong kind of tires, because it determines how many spaces you can go. And if you're a rain expert, you get a benefit from that. You could be a flat out driver. That there are spots on the track that are extreme trajectories, and you can go for it. You can take an extreme trajectory on a turn, but if you screw up, there are checks. On all the cards that you play, there's a number on the card, and every time you do a check in the game, you have to play lower than that number to pass the check. And if you miss an extreme trajectory check, you could slide and start going off the track. And then you do another check, and maybe if you miss the second one, you actually crash and you're out of the race.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So so you could be an extreme trajectory expert and not have to do those checks.
So is there actual player elimination then? Or I know,
Yeah. Yeah. If you crash because you're that reckless, you're going to be out of the race. Or you could burn up your engine. You could take so much damage to your engine that you're out. Or you could spend all your tires. Okay, you're not out, but then you can't do anything that requires you to spend tires. So you're going slow. You're effectively out. Yeah.
one thing I noticed that was like way different. I've played a lot of racing games before, and a lot of them have you have the track, but you have a grid that you're kind of moving back and forth on the spaces. In this, it's like one space, next space, and everybody's kind of in the same space.
Yep. It's just a section. And it's like, it's a simulation of your position. It's not your exact position.
Because like every time you go, it could be like 4 or 5 laps later or whatever. Because you're like doing hundreds of laps or something.
Yeah, I don't even know how many F1 do, but they do a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have these strategies that you're going for, or your skill, and that is a strategy you take at the start of the race. Then you select your tires, and what kind of tires you're going to go with depends on what the track conditions are that you expect. But also, the number of tires that you get is also going to be determined by the kind of tire that you take. Some of them, if you take soft tires, you can spend one of the special soft tires to go an extra section of track when you really need it.
Oh, wow.
And if you have super soft, you get a couple of those you can spend and go 2 extra steps. But it's not a whole lot during the whole game. So when you do that or when you don't do that, it's so strategic as well as tactical. As you play, it's very tactical based on the cards that you get, but your overall strategy has incredible impact on the game. So you really feel like you deserve it if you do, if you do well.
Yeah.
So then you're picking a strategy. So you've got your skill, that's a driver skill, but then a strategy for that particular race. And the strategies are on these cards that, well, here, let me just show you a picture of it. Here we go. That you can save fuel during the race. You can push yourself to go faster and burn fuel. You can just have a strategy of, I'm going to get lucky. And you draw 2 cards, and if they match, if they're the same number on the card, like the cards go from 1 through 4. So if you get 2 4s, then you get to draw a special track card. Because what these do, your strategy tells you if you do a certain thing, you get to draw a special track card. There are 6 tracks for the game now, like Silverstone in England and Spa, right, and Hungaroring, and like these famous tracks from the 90s, and I'm sure they're still there. But anyway, you get these cards that are particular to that track, and also particular to a certain corner, which means you have a knowledge or a special idea. In this corner, I'm going to do this thing. And so when you go through that corner of the track, you can play that special card. And instead of 1 through 4, it could be like a 7. Like it could just give you a huge boost and do different things. So you get those special tracks by doing certain things depending on what your strategy for the race has been. So if you take banging wheels, you're going to try to get into as many corner contests as you can and bash into other cars because it's getting you special track cards as well. And it's the game is so deep in that regard. So you get all this kitted out and figured out for your car, and then you choose your tires, right? There's all the different tire kinds you can get. So
it's definitely sounded like you have to play it more than once.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
the
very
first
much.
time you play, you're gonna get trounced.
James, have you played this?
No.
Okay.
No.
Keep going.
I played a bunch of other racing games too, but
I guess
I've
that's
never
my
heard of this.
question, George, is have you played a lot of other racing games, and how does this
Yes.
compare? And also, I already know this question. It seems like it's set really far apart from the traditional gameplay of a racing game.
It is, and I've not seen a comparison. Like, for me, there's no other racing game. I'm not that into racing games, but this one just sings. I really, really enjoy this one, and there's definitely a curve to learn the rules to it because there are different rules that take place at different times. There's like exceptions to different things, but everything is so thematic. I really like it. You have a qualifying round at the start of the race to determine your setup in the start. So it might, look like this, and you're one of these cars back in here, right? Or maybe you're starting out as leader, but your qualifying round, you have to play a card and select a chit, which is your pit. So if you want to add and qualify well, you're going to be pitting earlier.
Right, because I saw that you're required to pit once through the game, but you can pit as many times as you want.
I don't think there's any track that you can make it on a single. Well, no, that's not true. You can make it on a single pit if you overfill your tank later. But by doing so, by giving yourself extra fuel, you're going to be pitting. You're going to be taking longer in the pit. So you start back further on the track after the pit. Like maybe the track has a pit of 8 spots. So normal pit, you go back
which is
8
a
spots.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you put in an extra 4 rounds of gas into your tank, now you're going back 10 spots.
That's crazy.
But you could do it. You could try it.
You did say this is a heavyweight game, right? It sounds like it.
It is. It's
with all that stuff you got to keep track of.
Yeah, but it does make it a little easier to keep track of because of the thematic nature of it. But there's so much variability to it as well, because all of these cars, right? You can play the game with maybe 2 human players, but then all these other cars are robots. They're AI controlled. And the yellow cars, maybe, like this person's painted theirs all a whole bunch of crazy colors, but normally you have silver cars, black cars, yellow cars, and purple cars. So you fill out the field with all these other cars. The silver cars are ultra fast cars. So they're going a base speed of 5. The most you can do is 4, like on your cards, right? So these cars are just faster than you are to start off. But when you play a card, if you have a 1 card, you can pair a 1 with anything else. So a 4 and a 1 could get you 5 as well. Remember on the track, I said there were these spots that are the extreme trajectory. You can also see other trajectory spots here on the map. There's a +1 here, a +2 here, +3 there. And when you go into that spot, you can line yourself up with a trajectory and you get a +2 from being the first one to get to that spot in that section of track. If you play a green card here, or here if you play an orange card, or here if you play a red.
Did you say how you get cards? Are you just drawing them at the end of your turn or something?
You start the game with a hand of cards, and at the end of your turn, you draw a card, yeah.
Okay, so you really have to look at the track and plan ahead. Don't use your green card too soon, because later on that turn's going to require it if you want a bonus.
Yes. Speaking of cards, here's a bunch of cards. So you've got red cards that typically go faster, like a +4 here, +4 here. But this one, for example, if you're playing this +4, you have to spend 2 tires because you're burning out 2 tires, and you only start the game with like 12 or 10 or 8 or whatever. And your engine takes 2 damage, and your engine starts with 4, 5, or 6 slots. And in the engine, the way the engine works is you have a bag with chips in it, and you reach in and you draw out one of these, and depending on the color, it's the damage that you take. One color, the brown color, is permanent damage. The red color, when you pit, you wipe those away and you start fresh. So there's another consideration. How often do you take that damage? But you might be playing the hazard strategy where when you take a damage, you get a track card for a particular corner on the track that gives you a special thing. So now you're eating up the damage because you're flying around, these corners. That's what you want to do. And then there's cards that this yellow card here, for example, and remember, all these colors are tied into trajectories on the map that'll give you bonuses when you play them. But if you play this yellow card, you can you can look at the weather, like the upcoming weather card, and see, okay, get a clue of where the weather's going to go. This yellow flag means that there's damage on the track. So you drop some damage at a corner that you want on the track. That's going to slow everybody that comes into it down. Not you. Hopefully you don't put it in front of yourself, right? There's
It's like
all
dropping a
kinds of
bomb
stuff.
in Mario Kart
Yeah.
or banana peel.
But if there is damage on the track, you can play a green card, a green flag on your card to have it cleared away before you get there. So there's just all these different, and these cards, when you play them, some of them let you draw cards. Here's one that lets you draw a card. Here's one that lets you draw 2 cards when you play this one. So you're managing your hand of cards. When you get into a corner, you can't pass on a corner most of the time. And so cars will stack up in the corner because they can't pass each other. But you'll start off with the last place car and start asking toward the front, do you want to challenge? Do you want to try to pass in this corner? And if you do, then there's going to be a contest. You either participate in the contest or you don't. If you don't participate, then you go to the back of the line. But the ones that do participate in the contest, then you take 2 cards and add up their value and set those aside. You can't use them out of your hand anymore. You've used them for the contest. And the robot cards can draw cards off the deck. And certain corners give bonuses or penalties to the leader in this case as well. But you look up all the totals, and then the cars have to line up, relative to those totals. So you can fight. You fight each other in the corners. And if you tie with another car, then you bang into them as you were trying to fight for this, and you both take a damage.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
All right. Well, because of time, let's go ahead and hit your final thoughts on this. Obviously you kind of said a lot of things throughout here that you like about it, but is there anything you want to wrap it up with?
Let's see. Well, I think that it's worth the curve of learning, the rules that go into it, right? And if you like F1 racing, or even if you don't, and you just like Euros, where card play determines what happens, and you have so many options that your strategy is what's going to determine if you're going to win this race or not. I think there's no better racing game out there for me. I've had it since 2013, the first edition. The second edition has made it so much better in so many ways. And I will say that there are a number of house rules that I play with. Because of course, right? But not too many. There are these track cards that you get, right, that give you like maybe a +6 or a +7 or something like that for a particular corner. The house rule that my buddy Dustin and I play this game. We play this with this rule that only the track cards can only be used in a contest in the corner for which they are specified. So only if you're in that corner. Otherwise, you're definitely going to win a contest. And we play where the robot cars always get 3 cards in a contest instead of 2.
So they're harder.
So it's much harder, yeah. And I don't know why this is in the game the way it is, but there's so many games like this. They say, draw a card at the start of your turn. And
draw it at the end of your turn so you have time to plan before
draw
it's your turn
end.
again. Yeah.
Exactly. Come on. Yeah. So draw at the end of your turn. And we also play where you can only get one of those special track cards one time during your turn. Like no matter you could burn a whole bunch of tires, but you're only drawing one. Or you could crash into a car, you're only drawing one, even if you crash into 2 cars, whatever. So we only one special card per turn. And the final rule that we go with is when you're paying for tires, paying for cards that require you to pay tires, they will show these black tires on them that you have to pay. You can only use black tire chits to pay for those. You can't pay with soft or super soft tires, the ones that let you go an extra spot or go an extra 2. So there's a balance there. You can take those soft tires, but you can't use them to pay for cards. So how many are you going to take? Yeah, that's what we do.
Well, yeah, it looks super cool. I would try it out. I don't care that it's 4 hours. I'm down with long games.
Yeah, it's 4 hours of just such tactical and strategic back and forth. It's really worth it.
I'd definitely try it out, but I don't know about those one square things. I'm too used to like all the other racing games.
That's
that
what
I've
sets it
played.
apart. That's what sets it
Yeah.
apart.
I don't know. I'm kind of leery about that. I watched the video and it just kind of was weird.
We're going to move on to the next one. That was any last thing? You good?
Nope, that's it. Race Formula 90.
So the final game we're going to talk about here is one that we had brought up on the podcast a few weeks ago for the Origins preview. And it's a game that I said that I wanted to play, but I did not get the chance to play before the podcast episode released. So I'm glad I finally got it. I'm doing like three things in the background while I'm doing this talking. So it's like a trial of a multitasking. Anyway, Skyrise is published by Roxley Games and it is designed by Gavin Brown, Sebastian Puchon, and Adam Wise. It's a game. Well, first off, let's start with this. There's a deluxe version and there's a normal version, and it's a bidding game, but it's a bidding game where you're just trying to outplace a piece that has a higher number next to somebody. So it's a bidding game, but not the traditional, like, I'll raise you, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess you do raise them kind of, but you don't have money or anything. You're using pieces that you're placing on a board. So the board is made up of these 4 different floating islands. And real quick, George, you haven't played this, right?
I've not played this. This looks really good, though. I hadn't even seen it. It looks really pretty.
All right.
Let me say really quickly, Race Formula 90 is made by Gotha Games. I should have said that.
Oh, fair enough. All right. So here's the board. Basically, you have 4 floating islands that you attach to this center, like really tiny island. And each of these big islands have a lot of different spaces on it. The very center island only has 4. And it's, you know, you always use the center island. And then for each player, you add one of those corner islands. And it makes up the giant area to play on.
So this is like science fiction because these are literally floating islands.
It's steampunk.
Yes.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Each player has a bunch of different pieces that are of 3 different sizes, small, medium, large. They're buildings essentially. And so there is a deluxe version of the game that has some really cool 3D modeled buildings.
Ooh.
They look really nice when I think they're what's called sun dipped or sun.
Sun drop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look
sun
at
dipped.
that.
They look really good, but even the base game has really gorgeous like wooden pieces. But you know, if you compare them next to each other, you get sad that you don't own the deluxe version. I will tell you that. Anyway, and even the board itself, the board is 3D. Like there's a 3D steampunk kind of platform that you set the board into for the deluxe version. It looks fantastic. This is a very, very deluxed out version.
Yeah.
I only own the base game. Thank you, Eric, for buying it for Christmas. Anyway, basically on your turn, you will take one of your buildings and it has a number printed on one side and the other end of it is blank. So if the number is facing up, it's a bid. And when you win the bid, you'll flip it over and it becomes a permanent building on that space. If you start the bid, you'll put a piece down on a spot that you're able to. It's either adjacent to a piece that's already on the board, or you can always start in the center island if there's a space available. But you put a building, which in this case is on the bid side, on a space. And then the next player chooses one of their buildings to put on adjacent space next to that bid, and the number has to be higher. Now, the way the numbers are, everybody's pieces don't have the same numbers. So like player 1 might have a 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4, you know, it kind of goes around in that manner, except it skips a lot of numbers. I don't know if that's for an expansion idea or not, you know, because the numbers go up to 100 and something and there's not that many pieces, you know. So like first player might have the lowest number of 1, but then the next player's lowest number is like 6 or something.
Yeah. It's almost like Raw in that regard.
Right. Like not 2 players have the number 15.
Yeah.
Somebody has the number 15. Somebody else has a different number, 16, 17, whatever. So you'll put a bid out and it keeps going until until everybody passes back to you, which it means that you win that bid. Everybody takes all their pieces back. So all those spots that have bids on it get recovered and they're freed up. And only the player who wins gets to flip their guy over or the building over. Or no one can bid because you corner them into an area where there's no other spaces to go. what you're doing is at the beginning of the game, each space obviously is a color. And on top of that, you put these tokens randomly from the bag on these different spaces. And so when you claim an area with your building, you get one of those tokens. And essentially at the end of the game, there's yellow, green, white, and brown spaces. If you have more yellow tokens, it makes all the yellow areas that you have buildings in worth that many points. So printed on your board, there were 2, but you can go up to 6. But if you go too heavy and you get like the 4th token, or well, essentially the 5th token, if you're counting the one that's printed. But anyway, it goes back down to 4. But the more tokens that you get that you can't put on your normal board, they go on your character portrait. And there's a reason for that, because there's individual goals that you can score. You also get points for having tokens on your character portrait. So I think you get 10 points for every additional color. So if you have 4 spaces to put yellow tokens, essentially. So it's worth 3, 4, or 6, but then it goes back down to 4. And so, but you take that gamble of getting 1 extra token so that you get a 5th token, and that's 10 points by itself.
Gotcha.
So it's a little bit of a game, like you're trying to figure out, should I go, like if all your yellow areas or districts or whatever they're called, neighborhoods, I think, are worth 6 points. Do I try to get 2 more yellow tokens, which will effectively lower my points per yellow down to 4? But then every yellow token on the 5th or more is 10 points by itself. Or do I just sit steady at 3 yellow tokens, which gives me 6 points per yellow area? You have to kind of math it out while you're playing it.
Right. Because you're either getting 6 times 4 or you're getting
4 times 4, but the ability to get 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, 10 points. Right.
Yeah. You're getting 4 times or 5 times 4 plus 10. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you basically play through 2 phases. There's one phase where if somebody plays, when the phase ends, everybody gets, you don't start with all your pieces. Once you play all your pieces, whoever the first person is, they end the first phase of the game, and then everybody gets the rest of their pieces. And then you keep playing until everybody has spent all their pieces. So everybody will bid everything out on the board, which means the entire board will most likely be completely filled up, or not completely filled up. I'm sorry. There's going to be empty spaces, but it's going to be really filled.
Yeah.
And at the end of the phase 1, there's these scoring cards you put off to the side, and you might get points for being, having pieces next to these blimps that are printed on the board, or next to these little energy power plants. I don't know what they are. And then those will score again at the end of the game. So obviously you want to get them early so that you score them twice rather than just once.
Okay.
There's some in-game scoring stuff, but I mean, I guess there's one last thing. There are other tokens that are on these spaces that are not just those 4 color circles. There are A, B, C, and D, and you don't know what the value of those are because you shuffle them at the beginning and put them on the board. But once you collect a token, so if you own the A token, and there's multiple A tokens out there, but if you have one, you get to look at the bottom of that token to see how many points it's worth. And then it's a little bit of bluff. So it's like, okay, well, Tim got 2 of those A's. He might really like that, but it's not worth anything. I just needed brown districts, and it happened to be the token that's there. That's pretty much the idea of the game. What I really like about it is the fact that when you are bidding, there is a little bit of area control in the sense it's like, okay, if I place here, the next place person's going to have to go here or here, which could branch out into this corner when it comes back around to me. And I basically just auto win it. You know what I mean? And if you're the one who wins the bid, you start the next one. And so if you get to a point where, for instance, there's some spaces that are not adjacent to a lot of spaces. And if you corner it into there, you can just auto take it with like a lowest piece. And so it's not necessarily about always saving your really high number of buildings to take spots. It's also about figuring out where people are going and then using that to try to take over areas that don't have a lot of adjacent spots available, because you can't obviously place buildings where there are buildings. So those spaces are effectively blocked. Yeah. So if the bids around a space get all taken up, your next turn is, I'm going to put this 4 on this one space and win it. And that's crazy. The only thing I will say is like the scoring cards that happen you only put 2 of them out, and they score at the end of phase 1 and at the end of the game. I felt like the ones that they just really lackluster. Did you notice that, James? Like,
Yes.
like I don't even care.
Right. You're not paying attention to those.
Yeah, I mean, they're really hard to achieve. It's like have 3 of your pieces next to a blimp, like adjacent to it, and most of those blimps only have 4 maybe spaces, and you have to win all 3 of them around it. You get like 3 points. Well,
Right.
if I'm getting 4 points per yellow district, I'm not going to play. Like, if it happens, it happens.
Right.
Maybe I just suck at the game, but I feel like those cards in particular weren't very exciting. The secret objectives at the beginning of the game is really just, there's only 4 of them because the 4 district colors. So it might be like, okay, well, at the end of the game, if you have at least, 4 or 5, I think it's 4 white districts, you get 10 points. And then the other person's is if you have 4 brown districts, you get 10 points. I mean, yeah, that's cool. I always get sad when you get objectives that you put face down that no one knows about, if they're all the same, just different colors. Cause I feel like, I don't know how you would fix it and make it better or add new stuff, but it just seems like it's kind of meh to me. But the game itself, I like those things don't even matter because I think the game is very, very cool. So James, you played this. What do you think?
Yes, I was very fortunate to play the deluxe version of this, so it is very pretty. My friend has the deluxe version. The main thing you're focusing on is the multipliers of which districts you're winning, and you're trying to multiply that, and also those secret points behind those letters. There's a lot of stuff I like about it, like the area control aspect, the trying to do the multiplier stuff for the points. My main issue is bidding. I am terrible at it. If I have a strategy, somebody's going to mess it up. Somebody's going to go in there and just run ragged on me and just mess up my whole strategy, and which is rare for me anyway, because I'm more of a Leroy Jenkins player. I just run in there and do whatever and then curse at myself at the end because I got beat real bad. But I am just terrible at bidding. Raw is another example. I am terrible at bidding games like that because I don't grasp the strategy fully of it. I know a little bit of it, but I don't know. The people I play with, they know how to do all that. Oh, plan for this and this and this, and I'm just like, like you said, there's each one has like a little peninsula one where you can block off and you'll win it automatically.
Yeah,
and they know how to get that before anybody else. And I don't know when. I can't grasp the concept of when I use the higher one and when I should use the lower one. I'm just terrible at it. So that's what keeps me from buying it. I still think it's a really good game. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I came in 3rd out of 4th, which is an accomplishment for me, like I said, for bidding games. But yeah, I mean, and if you can get the deluxe version, I recommend it. If you like this game, get the deluxe. It is very pretty because I'm looking at the standard version and I feel sorry for you, Tim. I mean, like I said, I don't have this game at all. That's one indicator. Like I said, I'll play games with my game group, and if I really like it, I'll buy it. So I liked it, but not enough to buy it. Just mainly a lot of because of the bidding, and usually bidding also they don't have solo versions of it.
It would be really hard to do solo.
Right. So that's another thing because it's hard to get my wife to play these types of games. So that's why I have to solo a lot of these games. And this one you can't with the bidding aspect. But if you like the bidding, I mean, it is a great game. It's well worth it. It is very fun.
I did forget to mention one thing, which is another thing I really enjoy, is that each player gets a wonder, which is a special type of building. It doesn't have a bidding number. And if you don't get it until the second phase of the game, when you play it, you just immediately stop the bidding. Like it's like infinite number. Bam.
It's a wild.
Yeah. And you start the game with some of these wonder cards. I think you start with like 3. And when it comes time to, I don't remember if you actually, I can't remember if you pick halfway through. I think you pick when the phase 2 starts and you get your wonder. You select one of those wonder cards from your hand, and everybody puts it face down and then reveals. And so you can cater. It's like you have 3 options of what your wonder can do when it comes out.
That's good.
but you don't have to pick that at the beginning of the game. You pick it when you get the wonder halfway through the game. So you can pick one that benefits you the most, or might be super opportunistic. You know, you might pick one that when you play it, you might get points for having so many buildings in a section, like a floating island or whatever. Or you might get points for having as long as you have one of each color district on one island, you get like so many points. And so if you're not really doing well with that halfway through the game, you're like, oh, I'm not going to pick that wonder because it would be too hard to achieve. The wonders were really cool. I really like the mechanisms on those. Most of them are just scoring for different ways or whatever, but man, I think it's a good game. I don't necessarily think my wife likes it tremendously. Like, she was okay with it, but she doesn't really like bidding games to begin with. And so, like, as much as I enjoy this game, the deluxe version is out of my price range because I don't think it will hit the table a whole lot because of that. And so I'm fine with just the base game. Although, man, that deluxe version is super sweet looking. Oh my gosh.
It is very pretty.
Crazy good.
And just to add on, when you bid, and if you win the bid, that building is gone. So that number is gone from you because you just flip the building over, and so all those buildings have numbers under them. That's your bidding token, is the building.
And what's really cool about that is people might win a bunch of bids in a row, but you're going to play until everything is played.
Right.
And so, it does matter the order though, because you are trying to look for areas. Like, for instance, if maybe you start with the card that says you need brown districts. So if you get 4 of those, you get 10 points at the end of the game. Well, you look around and maybe a brown district has a brown token on it. That is a key area for you to get because it's going to increase your scoring for brown, and it gives you a district control.
Yeah.
And so board reading it at the beginning of the game is super important here, just based on the fact that you got to look around and be like, okay, this space has a brown token on it, but it's a yellow district. Okay, well, if you claim that district, you're increasing your score for brown, but you're claiming a yellow district.
Correct.
So looking around the board and seeing how it begins is super important. And that might be one of those things where on additional plays really matters. I can see, like, if you played this game a whole lot and you sat down with some people who are really serious about it and if they play it a lot, you would probably spend 10 minutes looking at the board before actually starting to do anything. Just reading it and seeing where the tokens landed and all that stuff, which is really cool. I mean, it's very abstract feel, but it does have a lot of strategy. It's got, even though it's abstract, I mean, it could be anything, right? It's steampunk, which I like, but it doesn't have to be steampunk. So
I don't like steampunk, but this is pretty. This is pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about this? Is this pretty?
Even the base game, I think, is very pretty, except I don't want to look at those 4 people the whole game.
Which 4 people?
The ones right there printed on the board.
Oh, yeah.
What's wrong with them?
You don't want to see that? I mean,
they're weird looking.
It's on every board, but
yeah, well, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah,
I guess instead of putting the token with the question mark on the space for it, you could just put them on their face.
Put it on their face. That's a good idea. That solves the problem for me. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, that's Skyrise. Anybody got any final thoughts?
I would play it. I would be terrible at it, but I would play it.
I'd play it again and be terrible at it too.
Well, we're going to have to do some tabletop simulator for this one if we can't get together. So,
all right. And race Formula 90 as well.
That exactly. I'm down with that because if we need to save, we just quit.
There you go.
Come back to it another day.
Take it in sections.
Yeah.
They have ways that you can play it as a shorter race as well. And they even have a way that you can hit a certain turn of the race and it becomes a sprint at that point. And the first car to cross the first car that hasn't been lapped to cross the finish line after that round of the game is the winner. And that's our favorite way to play. That makes it pretty exciting.
Fair enough. All right, well, we're going to end this one. This is Skyrise by Roxley Games. Anyway, I think it's about time. I think we're at the end of the episode now. So I hope you enjoyed. This is it's been fun. I like doing the podcast again. It really is really cool. I like doing this style episode more so than the top 10s, but because that is a lot of work, but the top 10s are good. If you haven't checked out our top 10s, check them out. I did upload the Origins preview on YouTube. So if you want to see all our crazy, getting used to sharing screens and stuff, check it out. Leave comments, on the video or whatever. And soon, Gen Con, well, first off, the Gen Con preview is up and it has more games on it than Origins in the end. And Gen Con, Origins haven't even happened.
Yeah.
It's like at 250 plus or something, and Origins end up being like 180 or something. I don't remember.
That's right.
But so we'll do a Gen Con preview video. I think we're time to wrap this one up. We want to thank you again for tuning into episode 148 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. This episode was recorded on June 6, 2025. Send questions and comments to meeplecore@gmail.com. Follow MeepleCore on your favorite social media platforms and check out the video versions of the show on youtube.com/MeepleCore. Until next time, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple.
George Breden.
James Fitzgerald.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.